Hey guys, it's Turtle here with the Chief. We are N9G, your one-stop shop for lifestyle and just a splash of gaming and a little more general fuckerittery. Chief, how are you today, mate?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I like the new intro, a bit more accurate. Less the gaming channel, or we're evolving. Less the gaming channel, more just shit talk and rubbish channel now. But fuck it, why not? We'll see where it leads us.
Well, that's exactly right, man. Some of our feedback has been they're not interested in the games, which is fair enough. And man, we are a shit talk channel, and we're just two blokes just having a bit of fun.
Well, that's it. And I tell you what, to make it as a bloody YouTube or Facebook or just social media gaming these days, you need to be some fucking esport god or essentially have no life and definitely be a virgin. So. I'm not really
Yeah.
any of those things. I don't think you are either, so I don't really have the time for that.
No, we're well past that stage. Well past that stage.
Indeed. Indeed.
All right, mate. Let's head into the first topic: news of the week.
That's it. All
Take
right.
it away.
All right. Well, I guess let's go to America first. We always do. Um, so the final debate was held this week between President Trump, the incumbent, and Joe Biden. A
hmm
much more subtle and reserved affair than the first one. Lots of things covered. We're going to briefly go through a few of them, just the big ticket ones. So obviously the laptop. So Joe Biden's son Hunter's laptop was brought up. Again, look, we're not going to say whether we think that's legitimate or not. Oh no, fuck it, I will. Yeah, I think that's legitimate. I think they're dodgy as shit. Um, but that's not verified yet, so we must mention that. Um, Bloody Joe Biden's also essentially come out and said he's going to completely destroy the oil industry in the United States. I tell you what, if that doesn't lose him the election, there's not much else he can do because that's going to cost a ridiculous amount of money for the U.S. economy and will pretty much ruin the country. Um,
Yeah, well, just quickly, you really have to wonder, don't you, man? Like the Democrats are getting behind this absolute peanut of a bloke, and he comes out and says those stupid shit. The other thing is, what is what is their hidden agenda behind all this? Because yo, at some level, they're a team and a party, and they all agree on saying these sorts of things on live air.
well, mate, the problem I think you'll find is that the Democratic Party, pretty much since the Clinton era, has slowly but surely shifted further and further and further to the left. And they're at a point now where they're beholden, like their base, their voting base is pretty much beholden to the extreme left, the far left. You're really quite socialist, communist sort of left. So there's a number of senators, sorry, I should say congressmen, in the US. They're called AOC plus three, and they are about as socialist as you're going to get in a representative in a democracy. Now the issue
Mm.
is that they, much like the Greens Party do here, actually hold a lot more power than their numbers would suggest. Um, they're the ones that backed Bernie Sanders and made him essentially the opposing Democratic candidate to Joe Biden. And now that Biden's won, they're the ones that are propping him up, and that's part of the reason why I think his running mate Kamala Harris was chosen as his VP nomination. Because Biden he's actually got to walk a very tight rope, man, because he has to at any stage seem sensible and not batshit crazy, despite the fact he's got dementia, um, whilst appeasing this insane far left caucus that he has. Um, and it's impossible. He's proving that it's impossible because you can't live that life constantly.
Well, yeah, doesn't help the fact that he's in the advanced stages of his life either.
Yeah.
And they could have picked someone, shall we say, a little more sprightly.
Well, they have, man. His running mate Kamala Harris is pretty much tipped to be in office. If Biden wins, is pretty much tipped to be in office and replace him within a year. I mean,
Well, that'd be a kick in the pants, wouldn't it, for Biden?
oh
You know.
well, mate, he doesn't know what room he's in half the time. I don't think he'll even realise what's going on. Um, and I tell you what, viewers, I will say this because it is quite obvious right now, sort of that at least I mean, I'm not gonna speak for Turtle. Um, if I was American, I'd be voting for Trump, and I'm sort of leaning towards being more of a conservative. But that's not to say that say Turtle or I are either always red or anything like that. It's just that politics in democracies these days tend to ebb and flow. Sometimes you'll have the more democratic socialist side being insane, like we're seeing now, and sometimes you'll see the more Republican, conservative, libertarian side being insane. And it just goes, it ebbs and flows, goes up and down. During the Bush era, yeah, the conservative side was a bit ridiculous, a bit maniacal, a bit tyrannical, um, and
Hmm.
that then shifted to the Democratic side when the Clintons got in, and it remained so, I believe, when Obama was president. It's just Obama was such a likable character because he's a very charismatic president that no one noticed. Um, it's just the way things are. So, when I think Trump will get re-elected, if the next um, potential candidates for the presidency come up in another 4 years' time, and the Democratic nominee is very sensible, well, you never know. I may change my allegiance, but it just is what it is. You have to be open to reason and sanity at that point in time, not consistently voting for one party just because mum and dad told me to do it, or that's what all my friends do. You have to be able to critically look at the policies of each candidate and each party and go, what's best for the country, what's best for me.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly right, mate. You gotta work out for yourself. That's the key there. For yourself, what is best for you.
Yeah, 100%. Which, man, that's a dying skill these days. I think it's a dying skill because unfortunately a lot of our universities have lost the ability to critically think.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get too far into that, we can make an entire video on that, guys. So, and I think at some point in the coming weeks we probably will. So, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, yeah. Turtle and I have been having discussions, and we sort of want to get to a point where we may even have entire episodes, long format discussions on single topics. That's where we want to eventually move the channel to. So hopefully that's what we get to, and we're going to dabble with that in the next few weeks. So here we go. Hopefully you guys like it. Um, let's move on, Turtle. Otherwise, this will be a very long session.
Yeah. All right, mate. So, what's hitting the home front down here in the land down under?
Yeah. So obviously, big day today. It's grand final day. Uh,
That's it.
Here up in what is meant to be sunny Brisbane, but as of an hour ago, was very rainy and very Melbourne-ish Brisbane. Um, yeah. So Tigers and Cats tonight. Turt, early predictions. What do you think?
I think the Cats will get up with
Yep.
Paddy Dangerfield for Norm Smith.
Okay.
They'll get it done for Gary Ablett's last game.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I think the Cats will get it done, but man, I'm going to go smoky. I'm going to go Dusty actually for the Norm Smith, despite the fact that I think Tigers will lose.
In a losing side.
Yeah, just Dusty. Like, think of him what you will, but the man is made for finals and he's made for grand finals. So I think we'll get up.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that point. I just think though, if the Cats win, then Dangerfield is going to have to pull something out of his ass.
Oh, I agree. I think he's on for a massive game.
And
Um,
and if he's on for that massive game, then there's no way anybody else is taking that Norm Smith from him.
yeah. I mean, again, I'll argue the point. I'll say I reckon Dusty at his best is more damaging than Dangerfield at his best, but we'll find out tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. We should just point out, viewers, that we're recording this on the Saturday, and obviously this releases on the Sunday. So um, we'll see if we're right.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it.
That's it. On to more news, man. I mean, to tell you what, Victoria is the state that keeps on giving in regards to news because daily there's just more and more retardation that comes out of the Victorian government. Um, so obviously Melbourne protests are starting to get a bit more violent. People are just getting fed up. They're just sick of this shit. Um, they don't want to live in a socialist dystopia where the government just decides, whether they can fart in their own home or not. There's a bit of hyperbole, but it's not a far stretch.
Yeah, well, I know my family, being in Melbourne, are losing their mind. Um, they've had enough of it, and they recently caught up with their some family friends the other day, and it was like a godsend apparently. So I can understand how they're all losing their mind and losing their shit, mate.
Yeah, I mean, the mental health crisis that this has created and will continue to uh, create for almost years is going to be staggering. I don't think it's like anything that we have seen in Australia for a very long time, if ever. Um, I do also put that down to the fact that I just think as a people, as a country, we're a bit weaker than we are mentally than ever before. Um, that is in part due to just where we are as a civilization. Easy times breed easy people. Um,
Well, yeah, that's it. And I, this is just my opinion, and I don't put words or thoughts into you, mate. But I don't think we'll see the full term long side effects of this mental health problem for a couple of years.
I agree. I agree.
I think it's gonna build and build, and there's gonna be a lot of problems
Mate,
in the next coming years.
I completely agree with you, man. I'd even go further than that and say I reckon we'll be dealing with the effects of this at least for the next decade in regards to the mental health side of things.
Yep.
Um, and it's not, we're not saying, people are going to get severe PTSD from this or going to have anxiety, da da da. It might be subtle little things that just change
Yep.
people's psyches and do cause the odd bit of anxiety or stress, rah rah rah, going forward. That all has a long term effect.
Yeah.
Um, research that suggests that a person that experiences increased stress throughout their life is more likely to develop cancer, for example. Well,
Yeah.
you know, again, I'm not a scientist. Um, although that depends on how many drinks I've had. Um, but my sober self is definitely not qualified to suggest that. But the research
But
does
those are the
point to
facts.
that.
But those are the facts, mate.
They are the current
Those are the facts.
hypotheses. Yep.
They're irrefutable. You can't you can't argue with that. So whilst we're not doctors, doctors who have done the research have said this.
Yeah. Oh, there's a strong body of evidence to suggest it, man, for sure.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Um, yeah, moving on. Well, we're moving on, but we're going to stay on Victoria for a moment. So I know we've bashed him a bit, but again, the Chief Health Officer of Victoria, Professor Brett Sutton, nowhere to be found this week. Just disappeared. Well, we know where he is. He's at home hiding out. The reason he's hiding out is because the Coates inquiry has found that he's lied. He gave false evidence. He's been caught out. They had an extraordinary sitting the other day that pretty much all focused on him and the evidence he supplied. And he's fucked, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. He's gone. There's no two ways about it, mate. He is fucked.
Yeah, he's fucked. And my God, if Andrews doesn't get the ass after this, democracy in Victoria and democracy in this country is seriously broken, because how can you have three of your most senior ministers, Jenny Mikakos, Chris Eccles, and Brett Sutton, obviously not a minister, all be fired under your watch, under your leadership? You've got to go.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to
Yep.
go.
Absolutely.
You're either complicit, in which case you're just as responsible, or you're completely incompetent, in which case you're not fit to lead in either case, so you've got to go.
Yep. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Incapable.
That's it. Finally, some positive news. So, National Cabinet met the other day. and Prime Minister Scott Morrison announced that the entire country, minus WA, of course, because they want to be their own country, should be open by Christmas.
And that's a huge win for everybody
Yeah,
because as I'm sure everyone listening to this, we all have family members in different states,
yeah,
and it's important that we see them.
yeah. We've got to get to a point where we can live with this virus. Yes, infections still occur. It's still a highly infectious disease, but if you look at where we are with regards to mortality rates, we have this thing pretty much under control. We're far better positioned than we were at the start of the first wave or the start of the second wave to be able to deal with this disease. It's time to now shift. Well, it's overdue. Um, it's overdue time to shift to the economic impact we've had and the problems that'll cause and the mental health issues we've caused as a result of our response to COVID. So, there you go. Said it. Can't help but saying it. Um, Mate, no self control. But yeah,
Nah,
it is time to open up.
you are freaking hopeless with that, man.
Oh, it's a good thing we're a little channel because we'd be taken down every single week if we were bigger.
uh, all right, mate. Well, I think we've hit all the main topics. How about we move on to our next segment, Flog of the Week.
Let's do it, mate. Yours this week, I think. So take it away, Turts.
Yeah, I'll take it away. And we're going to stick to the theme of AFL and flog in an AFL. And this one is one that I think is thoroughly deserved.
Okay.
You know, he's earned this title on a yearly basis, and that is Bruce McAvaney.
Righto. Old delicious.
Mate, oh, don't even start me on that, man. Like, he brings about an energy to the game that is just unwanted. You know, he tries to be inventive, which, you know, isn't a bad thing if it works, but Bruce, it hasn't worked ever. So stop fucking trying. It's not rocket science. Call the game. Don't invent new descriptive words to enhance a player's case. The amount of times you hear Bruce essentially sucking Dusty's dick while he's commentating him, it's just pathetic. And it's infuriating to listen to him talk because he just comes up with these one-liners that don't make any sense at all. You know, Dennis Cometti, one of the great commentators of all time,
Yes.
his one-liners were perfect. They were simple, funny, and concise. Bruce, on the other hand, has a dick stuck in his mouth, he's got a dick up his ass, and he's just completely fucking everything up.
Right. We're definitely we're definitely cancelled after that. But continue.
Bruce, you need to retire, mate. Just call your time and just go. Or, you know what? Go back to horse racing. There's nothing there. It's not enjoyable. Just stick to it.
Well, that's the thing, eh? I mean, the viewers of horse racing are all in the TAB. They're not actually listening to the commentary. They don't give a shit.
Exactly. And that is why Bruce is flog of the week.
All right, well nominated, mate. We'll see how he does at the end of the year.
We should just a thought. We should actually get some subscribers to vote on that. We should make a poll list and see which one they think is flog of the year.
Well, I mean, if you know how to do that, go ahead. Neither of us are particularly technical, so I wouldn't have a clue how to do that shit. But sure, that's an excellent idea.
Get a little bit of community engagement.
Fuck yeah, we're all about community engagement and rah rah rah, inclusivity, diversity. You know, all tick all the boxes. I don't care. Just pay me money.
Exactly. Perfect.
That's it. That's it. All right, man. What's next? Where are we moving to?
Let's move into Grow My Gears, mate.
Oh,
You've got the floor this week. Take it away.
Yes. So, now I know. So we've both got uni degrees.
Yep.
We both now have. almost got multiple. You've pretty much got 1 3/4. Um,
One and a quarter. One
one,
and a
all right,
quarter.
well, call it 1 1/4.
We'll have 2 and a quarter.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
have two
yeah,
and a quarter in a few years' time.
yeah. I've close to finishing my second one as well as another one. So we've got plenty of experience with the way universities like to structure their courses and the sort of units that they include in their courses. Now, I won't name the university because I'm currently at it, so that's probably not a good idea. But my particular university, in my first degree, has this unit. There's 2 units, in fact. One that you do in first year, and I think one that you do in third year. And
Right.
they're both the sort of units. It's all about community engagement, yeah, the diversity, inclusivity, wokeness, all that sort of rubbish. Trying to impart the university's values onto you and making you do assignments, on particular topics. But it's as legitimate a unit as anything else. You get credit points for it. You can pass and fail assignments.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem I have with it, right, is all those units come from a particular ideological point of view. That's the ideological point of view of the uni. Now, that might be leaning left, leaning right, whatever it might be. Say I disagree with that particular ideology. I'm writing an assignment, and my, LIC, whoever, right, my lecturer, say they disagree with it. Well, how then can I get marked? How is it fair that I get marked down, I lose marks, and therefore potentially fail the unit, which pushes back my graduation, employment, everything. Costs me money because of Hex, costs me everything because this fucker doesn't agree with my ideology. How the fuck, in an institution of higher learning, in an institution designed for education and critical thinking, that's meant to be based around fact and reason and logic, and differing point of views, can you have units that are worth credit marks that are based on one side of the ideological spectrum? How is that fair? How is it not unbiased? And why the fuck do I have to pay for it twice? Because I got to pay for that because of Hex.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the customer here. If I pay for a degree in a particular field, say I pay for a commerce degree, right? Then I expect all of my fucking units to be on commerce. That's what I'm paying for. Yeah. I don't want a unit where I've got to discuss, the plight of some particular race at some particular time. Rah rah rah, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I don't care. If I do care about that, I'll research it in my own time. And I tell you what, when I graduate and my employer looks at my resume, looks at where I went to uni and what course I did, rah, 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 they're not going to give 2 shits about the fact that I did some bloody diversity unit in second year or whatnot. It's of absolutely no benefit to me.
Well, yeah. I think your point about let's get rid of that.
Try again.
Specific classes for a specific course. If you want to do accounting, you don't want to have to worry about, what happened in the 1920s.
No.
That's got nothing to do with accounting. Nothing at all.
No.
So why should you be put through your paces in that when it literally has zero effect or outcome for your course? It doesn't make sense at all.
Well, take it further. Let's take it further, right? You've used the example of accounting. Let's take a much more serious profession with much more real-world consequences. Say you're doing a medicine degree. So you're studying to become a doctor.
Yep.
So in that term, I think it's 4 years for doctors. I can't be sure. But let's just say it's 4 years, right?
Yeah, yep.
Whatever it is, arbitrary number, let's just say it's 4 years, right?
Yep.
In that 4 years, there's a finite amount of units that I can have in that 4 years. If it's 4 units a semester, so 8 units in a year, that means there's a finite amount of units. There's only so much knowledge the university can fit in to teach me. If they're then taking 2 of those units away to teach me about crap that's got nothing to do with my profession, they're making a choice to make you a worse doctor. Because that means you could have taken 2 extra subjects, which could have expanded your knowledge base on a more difficult and more complex and more uh, uh, um, subtle particular topic, and
Yep.
could have advanced that further. Or they could have included a completely new side of medicine that you wouldn't have experienced at university at that level. Perhaps it's something that's more real world. Perhaps, a different sort of placement, some new course, some new expansion of knowledge. They're choosing not to do that in place of imparting on you a particular political ideology or a worldview that you haven't signed up for. So they're making the choice to make you a less knowledgeable and less competent doctor.
Yeah. That choice is taken out of your hands.
100%. Despite the fact that you're paying for it.
Yep. Yep. Completely out of your hands. And that just should not be flying.
Oh, it's fucking bullshit. It's
Yeah.
absolutely bullshit.
Yeah. Just utter ridiculous.
Yeah, universities do a whole lot of dumb shit these days. But for God's sake, once someone leaves high school and they begin university, they're an adult. Legally, they're an adult.
Yep.
Don't waste their time.
Well, and the other flip side of that as well is, lecturers and tutors, they don't expect us to waste their time, and yet they can do it for us.
Well, that's the real world, mate. As you well know.
Well, yeah, I agree, but why are they allowed to waste our time, but we can't waste theirs? If that's the case, if we are capable of our own free will and whatnot, they can waste our time with these arbitrary classes, but then we can't waste their time.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're not claiming to be their equals in terms of that particular field, but an adult is an adult. You're equals in terms of basic respect, basic niceties that you extend to another person. That includes, hey, if you're not going to waste my time, I'm not going to waste your time. Let's be mature about this. Let's both do what we need to do, and then let's fuck off and do our own lives. I know you don't want to be here fucking around with me. You want to be at home with your family or your friends or getting pissed, whatever you want to do, and I want to do likewise. So, let's not stand here jacking each other off. Let's go and do what we need to do.
Yep, exactly.
So that's what's been grinding my gears this week, mate, is bullshit subjects from universities that push certain political ideologies that I didn't bloody pay for and I didn't bloody want.
Yeah, it's a good one. You've nailed it, that one, I think, mate. Absolutely nailed
mate. it. I need a drink and I need to lie down after
that. All right, mate. Well, let's get into a little bit of, I guess fun to finish off in shit talk of this week.
I feel this will be quite ranty too.
Yeah, I expect it to be ranty. But we want to discuss the games that we have in our background in Call of Duty and just the state of it. I think I'll go first because I know you have a lot of strong opinions on this.
Go for it.
Now, I love Call of Duty as a franchise, and I think you do too, and that should not be understated. Should not be understated that we actually do love the game, but at some point, it's lost its way. Which I can understand. It's now a AAA title, and the overarching company it's Activision, isn't it? That's the
the publisher, and Infinity Ward is the developer.
All right. Well, both companies.
Yeah.
They want to make money. They want to make as much money, and they want to force the shit down your throats with content that you got to pay for, or loot crates, which are just purely cosmetic. They don't add any value to the game other than saying, "Oh, I've spent $15 on a gun that can shoot yellow bullets."
Yeah, all your fucking microtransaction bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so in that aspect, I can understand why they do it because they want to make money and they want to be successful and make the most money, and I don't blame them for that. But what they've lost, in my eyes, is the ability to make a good game. They've lost the ability or the care to keep maintaining a game
Hmm.
up to the standards that were expected even just 5-10 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, like you know my thoughts on this. I don't think you're going anywhere near as far enough. I think you've been actually quite generous to Infinity Ward on this one and Activision. Um, the state of Warzone at the moment, and it has been for some time, is completely unacceptable for a AAA title.
Yep.
You know, they've just brought out a new expansion to Warzone. Effectively, all it did was take the daytime setting of Warzone and make it 5 o'clock in the evening. You know, marketed it as if there was going to be MVGs and all that stuff available. Thought cool, like oh yeah, it's a cool little twist that'll change up the gameplay a lot. No, it's just evening, it's dusk. You know, the problem that I have with Infinity War, I mean, we've discussed the cheaters on here before. We've discussed the hackers. Um, there's innumerable ways to cheat the game, hack the game. We even have situations now where you're having battles at the end, right? Where you've got someone who has figured out a glitch in the game and they're versing a hacker. So the
Yeah.
games are coming down to who can cheat or who can glitch out the best, you know?
Yeah.
And every game you play for now, you're effectively playing for a top four finish. That's the best you can hope for. Um, the game, I'll flat out say it, man. I'm done with the game, mate. I'm not playing it. It's not acceptable because I'm not enjoying it. Haven't been enjoying it for some time now. Um, I think Warzone probably one of the best financial decisions that Activision and Infinity Ward ever made of Call of Duty. I think for the integrity of the brand, it's one of the worst decisions. I know they'll continue with this going forward because it's been so financially successful, but the brand has been so diluted now because of games like Fortnite and Apex Legends and whatnot that it's not what it was. Um,
No. No.
it's not what it was, and Activision and Infinity Ward have not done anything to resolve long-term plaguing issues with the game. Where the fuck is skill-based matchmaking? Why the fuck am I matching with dudes in Singapore and Russia and China in my party when I can barely match with dudes in Australia?
Yeah.
Why am I matching with dudes that are competitive COD players when I'm lucky if I play every third day for like an hour and a half?
Yeah. Yeah. there is a. I was going to say there's a few flaws, but there are just a hell of a lot of fundamental flaws in this game.
Well, it's like, okay, the cycle with Warzone at the moment, that this is what keeps everyone coming back. Um, and it's a bit like, see, Call of Duty and Infinity Ward, right? They're just fucking cock teasers. You know why? Because what happens is every single week or every single fortnight or whatever, what they do is they'll introduce a new carrot to you. So you've had the most recent carrot they've given you. Say it's a new weapon or two new weapons, or it's a skin, or it's a new map or something, and you've consumed that and you go, oh yeah, that was alright, but I'm a bit over it now. Then they throw a new carrot at you. But the fucking carrot is one of those short little, stubbly ones you get at fucking Woolworths or something. That's for children. It's a little Pete Wig Dick carrot. I don't want that. Give me something of substance. And the problem is, right, those fucking weapons, because they rush this shit out just for the sake of rushing out new content, they don't bother about correctly manufacturing that piece of content. What I mean by that is every single time a new weapon system comes out now, with every new update, it is overpowered as fuck. Completely overpowered. So the meta of the game, the weapon system that everyone uses, changes every 2 weeks, which you think, oh, that'd be great. But there's a reason why we have loadouts. I like particular weapons in that game, and I want to use them. I don't have to want to change to some weird, stupid fucking, you know, grenade launcher or shotgun attachment under a shitty, foul or something like that. Just because you have to use that because everyone else is using it, and they destroy you if they don't.
Yeah. Well, and that's and that's another part of the problem, isn't it? Balance of the game. Why should I or the casual gamer be hampered by using our favourite guns when they're not the meta?
Yeah.
If I want to use a single shot weapon, fine, make it fair.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, crossplay, a great idea between console players.
Yeah.
But there is no discernibly good reason why the fuck we should have crossplay with PC players. PC players have such a degree of advantage in every single aspect of the game that if you're playing on console, you're playing with one arm tied behind your back.
Yep. Agreed, mate. Completely agreed.
Good. Well, man, on that, I've lost all fucking moisture in my mouth, so that's probably me done for the day.
All right, mate. Well, how about we call it there then?
Let's call it there. It's been a long one, but let's wrap it up.
All right, mate. Well, guys, I would just like to thank you all for coming in again and watching the N9G content. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell notification to make sure you stay up to date with all of our content. We go about these things in our own special way, the N9G way. So, peace out from Turtle, guys.
Later, guys. Have a good one.